Hi there, it's Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I am at the Waukesha Goodwill and I have just an hour to thrift. So it's going to be a power thrift and I kind of like those. So let's hit it. I start in an area that typically has a lot of wooden items and wall plaques and wall decor. And I notice this little square box. It has curved bowed pieces of bamboo on the edges, woven sides, and a copper top. And I really love boxes, as you might have noticed. And a little decorative box like this, it's always so useful. It's decorative, it's pretty, but you can also put things in it. So I put that in my cart. First pickup of the day. I wanted to show you how large the picture area is at this Goodwill. It wraps all the way around the corner here and goes on for quite a bit. Across from the shelves where the wooden and metal wall hangings and plaques were is some more wooden items. This is a bag full of hand-carved wooden fruit. It is tropical fruit and oops, I'm having a little trouble hauling it off the shelf and putting it in my cart. Sorry, I got a little discombobulated there for a minute and things started to fall. So I had to take a minute to kind of keep things on the shelf. But back to the bag of wooden fruit. They are hand carved. I love things made out of wood that are hand carved. And look how many pieces of fruit are in here. These are not particularly popular right now. And yet for $4.99 with all of that fruit, I was feeling like this could be something to pick up. So I put it in my cart to think about it, and I wish they were more popular because I do like them. The quality wasn't super great on this, but I wanted to give it a shot. I noticed these metal sea urchin, maybe atomic starburst kind of wall decorative items, and it's a set of 3 in graduated sizes, and I just thought they were cool. And I could see them on my wall. I could see them on lots of different walls, and I liked them, so I put those in my cart. Here's a little ceramic trinket dish. It features a character called Brother Juniper, and it's kind of a mid-century little trinket dish. This is a little ceramic angel, and I'm not sure. She's a singing angel or a howling angel or a snoring angel, not sure what kind of an angel. This is a Takahashi trinket box. Takahashi, to me, I always associate these trinket boxes with the 1970s. The design on that one isn't so awesome though. This is actually a Santa figure. It is metal and he is reading his list of who's naughty and nice. It's got some nice detail there. Another little sweet angel with flower wreath in her hair. Here's a plate with a crown on it. That's kind of interesting. Somebody who has royal heritage might like it. This is an ebony wood carved elephant with what could be real ivory tusks and toenails. Now, you're not supposed to be able to sell ivory anymore. On eBay, there are similar items. They usually omit the fact that they have ivory on them. This is potentially a big miss on my part. This is a cranberry red oil lamp. It has the little metal piece at the top for the wick. Now, I thought this was contemporary, and I'm also not really partial to cranberry red or reds. So I took a quick look at it and moved on. But if you find a real antique red glass, cranberry red glass oil lamp, those can run into some good money. I liked those little fun ethnic dolls instead, so I didn't spend very long thinking about the oil lamp until I found this oil lamp, which was a again, more contemporary design. It is speckled glass with an iridescent tone to it. It is another oil lamp. It has a little glass piece on the top for the wick, and I really love the design. Now, I was hoping it was signed, and it was not, but I still thought it was a lovely piece, so that went into my cart. I was curious about this item. It has a bunch of seeds arranged into a flower design, and it's got a rubber band hitching right on it. It looked to be vintage. It on the back it says Monte Carlo, so it must be a souvenir piece. But I took a quick look at that. Then I picked up this boxed harmonica. It is by Connor, and it is the blues band line. And who doesn't love a harmonica? Who doesn't want to play a harmonica once in a while? So I picked it up. I also had previously put this in my cart to take a look at it. This is a cross that is used in last rites rituals in the Roman Catholic Church. It has a hollow area for some of the items that a priest might use, but I ended up putting that back on the shelf. That glass paperweight had a pretty design, but too many nicks and scratches on the outside, so I left that on the shelf. There's that cranberry red glass lamp again. This is a black end cap, and I noticed this ginger jar. It is by Pottery Primitives, but it is a Lang and Wise company, and it has hand painted roosters on it, and I thought they were fun. And it has a country style, obviously, to it, and I thought I'm going to pop that in my cart and think about it for just a while. And this is now me starting to think about it for a while it's in my cart. I pick up this votive holder. It is made out of a marbled stone, maybe marble itself. It is an interesting color. The brown has tones of purple in it with the white threaded through there. So I thought it was quite pretty, and I decided I was going to take it with me. This drip glaze mug caught my eye. It was very lightweight. I'm thinking it is Japanese made, but the colors are screaming 1970s, maybe 1960s. Awesome colors, and I like the design. So I popped it in my cart to think about it for a wee bit. I have too many mugs, though. It ended up going back. I saw this cat box. I really liked it. It is made out of wood. The cat on top has the most placid, patient expression on its face. I had already picked up a box though, so I decided to leave it on the shelf, but isn't it cute? Here among the vases, I'm looking for something unusual that stands out to me. And the first thing that I see that I pick up is this little tiny figurine, maybe a little bud face. She's made out of terracotta and signed, probably Mexican or South American. And she's cute, so I put her in my cart. Then I pick up this green glass bottle. It's unusual with the Nautilus shell design there on the two sides. It looks like one that Libby sells. It should have a cork stopper that is missing. Then I pick up this ceramic birdhouse that is hand painted florals, pretty spring colors, but there are a lot of chips on it, so I put it back on the shelf. I noticed on the lower shelf this planter. I liked the pattern. It looks to be an artichoke with some leaves around it. The company was Kaldun and Bogle. That turns out to be a Minnesota-based company that I believe has recently closed. Some of the items on eBay are selling for quite high prices. They are all handmade, hand painted, and I thought I wasn't aware of them, but so I put that back on the shelf, but I do come back to pick it up because I kept thinking of it, and then I took a quick look on eBay, and even though there's a lot of chips, I decided to rescue that piece. Here we have a lot of vintage pictures. I saw this one with a relatively vintage pattern on it. This one also had a vintage vibe to it. It had lemonade on it, a little kid lemonade stand. It was pretty cute. This one with the gilding on the smoky brown glass, only $4.99. It had mid-century vibes to me. Then I saw this metal cast iron Japanese teapot. I remember getting a small one of these for my mom back in the 1980s. They were never cheap, so I could only afford a small one, and I have since inherited that teapot back after my mom passed away. And I love these. So this is probably for me, and that's why I'm okay paying up a bit. It's $12.99. Super heavy cast iron. It's got a bamboo handle and bamboo designs on the side, but I think it is awesome. Probably keeping that. This teapot had a pretty pastel kind of a chalkware look, although it was ceramic. Here in the kitchenwares area, I noticed this salt-glazed pottery. It is vintage. It has the number 174 on it, and it is a covered sugar. I know that because nearby is this matching creamer. The date on this one is 1988, and it is actually Rockdale Union pottery. I am often looking for Roe, but Rockdale Union is just as good. Also a Wisconsin-made product in the same region of Cambridge, Wisconsin. It goes in my cart. Here's a little geisha ware dish, probably vintage. Behind it, I noticed this ceramic mustard jar. I like the design. I think it is not as old as I originally thought it might be. And I pulled it out. It is made in France. It should have a lid and ideally a spoon going with it. There are two of these pots that I end up putting in my cart to look up and think about them for a bit. The other one's on a different shelf, so you're seeing me look at a few other items first. There it is. There's the other pot. So I put them in my cart and I looked them up. They're only about $8 to $10 a piece with the lid and sometimes with the spoon. So those do go back on the shelf. Continuing in the cookware area, I notice a piece of restaurant ware, this bowl here. This is by Jackson China by Falls Creek. It is a nice, hearty, heavy piece of restaurant ware, and I did like the pattern. Behind it, I thought this was potentially something special, but as soon as I picked it up, I thought twice about it. It's very lightweight. I feel like it's a Japanese knockoff of some of the really good early 20th mid-century brands like Hall or Hull. And I like the design. I put it in my cart to think about it, but I ended up putting it back. It is cart review time, and we are going to start with these little ceramic mustard pots. They have a design that makes you think antique, but they are not that old and not that valuable. They go back. There is a large pink candle that is for me. Under this pot is the mid-century mug. It goes back on the shelf. Over to the right, we have the lightweight ceramic planter, which I'm just guessing is really not too high of a quality piece. I could be wrong. There's no marking. You let me know if you think I made a mistake. We've got this little woman bud vase that goes back on the shelf. We've got the Rockdale Union salt glazed creamer and sugar that are vintage. Those go home with me. Excited about those. The Nautilus green glass bottle goes back on the shelf. The harmonica comes home with me, and who knows, I might just play it myself. Underneath it is that art glass oil lamp. It is so pretty. Not signed. That goes home with me. The rooster, on the other hand, the country ginger jar rooster, does go back on the shelf. The cast iron Japanese teapot comes home with me. The wooden fruit in a bag go back on the shelf. This wooden box, I'm not going to be able to get it out, does come home with me. And this Kaldun and Bogle planter does come home with me. The sea urchin wall decor comes home with me. I like those a lot. And then there is, oh, I didn't show you when I picked this up. This is a milk glass casserole pan by Fire King. It is for my boyfriend, who is an awesome cook, and he needed a smaller casserole pan, so I picked that up for him.
I had a great time. I spent too long there, so I'm in a super huge rush. I think the most interesting pickup was that Kaldun Bogle ceramic planter. I don't know anything about that brand, and it is apparently it goes for some pretty good money in good condition. This one had some condition issues, but I'm still kind of really jazzed to learn more about this brand and that particular piece. So Thrift on Siblings, we will do this again. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.